The question of what is the future is a very, it's both open-ended and contentious and a little bit vague. I mean, I feel that if you're talking about the future of watchmaking, then it's really going to be about keeping people excited and engaged and feeling like they have this connection with the brand. Because I mean, we've certainly noticed that people who are, there are two types of buyers. I mean, there's the buyer who's buying for status, and they basically buy the thing that's most highly advertised and people are likely to recognize. And then on the other hand, you've got the buyer who's buying out of genuine passion. That's our audience, and I think that's the audience we understand a little bit better. That audience needs to be kept engaged. That audience needs to be kept in communication with. That audience needs to certainly be kept happy. They need to feel like they're buying something that they understand and that they can identify with. So to us, the future of watchmaking is how do we build these communities? How do we get more involved in these communities in an authentic way? We ourselves, of course, remain collectors. We still buy watches from other companies. We still maintain our own personal collections. We still get excited about new releases, But what we need to do is balance that external point of view with our internal point of view, and try and figure out what does that translate to in terms of a product. What does that translate to in terms of a community engagement strategy, right? What does that translate to in terms of what people expect from us, right? How do we meet those expectations and go beyond? How do we deliver things that, perhaps you might not have expected? How do we continue to make you excited about our product? And I think the answer to that is really not straightforward, and it's very, very dynamic. I mean, immediately we see that our future is certainly going to be we are going to need a bit more direct face-to-face community engagement. We're going to need to attend more events. We're going to need to travel to more places. And that's partially because the price point of our watches is going up, and people can understandably, they want to see that in person before they buy. I would too. And it's also because I think there is still a very big gap between seeing pictures of something and seeing something online and actually handling it and trying it on and feeling the object quality of the piece itself. So for us to grow as a company, for us to increase our offerings as a company, we're going to have to do more of that. From an industry point of view, that's tricky. I think there's going to be certainly some consolidation both at the high end and the low end, not just because of recent economic events and worldwide shutdowns, not just because of, I think, a shift in perception amongst the community that there's perhaps a little bit too much profiteering going on. I also think that the new generation of buyer that's being brought in by both the micro brands, the Kickstarter brands, the smartwatches, and looking for something better. I think there's going to be a bit of a gap there in terms of where their knowledge comes from. So I think there is certainly room once again for an objective, knowledge-based, but not too dry. I mean, the kind of source that people can understand and still identify with. So this is something that maybe needs to be filled. Who does that? Whether it's an existing entity that morphs into something new, I can't really say. I think that's very much territory that's open for development. Of course, the conflict here is that once you go from being a non-commercial trusted source to trying to monetize it and trying to make a sustainable business, then you're no longer trusted. So this is something we've seen already in the industry from various media outlets, and it's something that whoever's going to take up the mantle is going to have to be very, very careful of not getting wrong.